during her husband's years in the war, and couldn't help but cry tears of fear when the planes flew over her hometown. She had to suppress her worries and anxieties and wait for her husband's triumphant return. As the nights grew quieter, Anne's longing for her husband intensified, making it difficult for her to sleep through the long nights. In those turbulent times, despite the war, they kept in touch by letter. Each time she sent a letter, and felt a springtime pleasure that soothed her tortured soul. She would dress up and leave a colorful lipstick on the envelopes to convey her love and longing for her husband. However, due to the lack of transportation and the ongoing war, it took a month for each letter and sent to reach her husband. Even so, the long wait did not cool her heart, and her love for her husband never diminished. After months of waiting, Anne finally received a letter from her husband, and the moment she opened the envelope, her heart blossomed like a flower in spring. Inside the envelope was not only her husband's heartfelt reply, but also a small, beautiful model airplane. Her husband explained that he couldn't come home to be with the baby because of the tense situation at the front, so he had made the model as a birth gift for the baby. Time passed, and since receiving that precious letter, Anne never heard from her husband again, as if he had disappeared into the ocean, which made Anne's heart heavy. Just a month later, when she saw the letter carrier walking towards her neighbor's house with a shocked look on his face, she was overcome with great anxiety. The ensuing mournful cries from the neighbor's house filled Anne's heart with fear that one day she would receive such a letter. But on this anxiety-filled night, the birth of their child took Annie's mind off her worries for a while. At the same time, the good news on the radio that the war was coming to an end was a great relief to Anne, for it signaled the safe return of her husband. Accidents happen at the most unexpected moments, and as Annie looked forward to her husband's return, she was struck by a sudden bolt of bad news that hit her like a bolt from the blue. That day, seeing the postman approaching her with a heavy step and stony eyes, Annie felt a strong sense of unease. She opened the letter with trepidation, and every word in it cut her heart like a sharp blade. Anne's heart was filled with unspeakable sadness as she read the letter, but she was still convinced that her husband would be home on Valentine's Day, as he had promised. She believed that her husband's disappearance meant